So my opinions on the debate are very similar to what took place a few weeks ago, but obviously there are some differences. Let me start by saying this. It was a good thing that we didn't hear two old men screaming and yelling at each other. It was a good thing that Donald Trump, for the most part, behaved himself. And it was a good thing, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, that there was more substance in this debate. I would hope that we would all agree on that, regardless of who you're supporting. Much better for the country when you have two people talking about policy, when you have one person interrupting most of the time, screaming and yelling. And, by the way, somebody that Donald Trump has been attacking over the course of the last week, and Kristen Welker, I thought she did a fantastic job yesterday. So, for starters, I just want to get that out of the way. Now, here's why my opinion.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Here's why my opinion on the debate isn't going to change much from a few weeks ago, at least from Joe Biden's standpoint. Here's why. So, Joe Biden is ahead on average about 9.9 percentage points in the national polls. And he's leading in enough swing state surveys to present him with certainly several possible paths to 270 electoral votes. So why is that important? Well, he needs to stand his ground, so to speak, for lack of a better term. Don't say anything that would be a dramatic error. Don't embarrass yourself. If you just do that and you just hold your own, you're just going to be just fine. My opinion is he did that. Now, if you're a Donald Trump supporter and you're way on the right, you're probably going to say that Donald Trump destroyed Joe Biden. And if you're way on the left and you're a liberal and you're probably going to say that Joe Biden destroyed Donald Trump. I don't think anybody necessarily destroyed each other. And we're going to get into the details of that. But my opinion is, when Donald Trump is not interrupting Joe Biden and the insults aren't being hurled left and right, that's advantage Joe Biden because he's able to get his thoughts across, whether you agree with them or not. That helps Joe Biden. And I think it helped him last night. And I thought Joe Biden did just fine. When it comes to Donald Trump, I believe he has a harder task. And his harder task is coming from behind to defeat Joe Biden. And Donald Trump's already been in office almost 4 years. This is very different than 4 years ago. This is a very different election. I don't think Donald Trump did a horrible job. I don't think there was a clear-cut winner yesterday. And again, if you listen to right-wing radio, everybody's going to tell you Donald Trump won. If you listen to Joe Biden supporters, most people are going to tell you that Joe Biden won. But I'm not one of those people. I'm just being completely honest. Again, I don't think this swayed the election necessarily one way or another. There might be a few people here and there, but listen, the bottom line here is this, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Biden needed to hold his own. He did just fine. Donald Trump was talking to his base. He did just fine. It's not going to sway the election. I think it was a good night for the country because for the most part, it was respectful and they were talking about substance, which is a good thing for the country. That's certainly not a bad thing. But now, as we look ahead to just about, 10 or 11 days before the election, before election night, this isn't going to make a difference. This isn't going to really change anything, what took place last night.
Oh, yeah, it will, Brian.
Okay, well, you could have that opinion.
Oh, I definitely do.
You could have that opinion if you think Democrats and people that were going to vote for Joe Biden saw the debate last night, and all of a sudden they're going to vote for Trump instead of Joe Biden. You're entitled to your opinion. I could not disagree with you more.
I think people in states like Pennsylvania and Ohio and Texas that voted for Joe Biden, and Biden has no chance in Ohio or Texas or Florida. He does have a chance in Pennsylvania. He's also from Pennsylvania. But I think after he went forward and said that he will try to transition the United States out of the oil industry, which I'm shocked he said, considering that you mentioned his path to 270. He has to have Pennsylvania for that path to take place. He cannot lose the state of Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania is a state that depends on fracking and oil more than any other state in the entire country. So I'm shocked that Joe Biden actually went forward and made that statement.
Well, let me respond. Hold on. Let's just talk about that before you move on to.
What do you mean?
Let's just talk about that, if that's possible, because I don't want to forget. Let's have that conversation, then continue. I think it takes guts, and I think it's not an easy thing to do on a debate stage, knowing that you could lose some votes, to stand by what you believe in. I'm actually proud of Joe Biden for saying that, because that's, number one, how he believes. He wasn't playing a politician. He was actually saying how he feels about how to safely, in a sense, get rid of the oil industry and talk about global warming. Now,
do you know how many jobs that would cost the United States of America?
Hold on a second.
It would cost almost as many jobs as raising the minimum wage to $15, which would take pretty much every restaurant out of business. So you think?
Hold on a second. Let me just make my point. Then we'll get into the specifics of why you disagree with Joe Biden's position, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Well, you just interrupted me and kind of hijacked my segment, Brian. Not my segment, but but
Okay.
my
All right.
monologue, if
So,
you will.
I didn't know you were doing a monologue.
I mean, you just explained what you thought about Trump and what you thought about Biden.
Okay.
I got to part of what I thought about
Okay.
Biden.
Well,
and
I'm
then
going to
you-
forget about all.
and then you interjected.
Okay. This is new to me.
There's more that I have to say
Okay,
about Biden.
and I was more than glad to hear that, but I was
okay.
unaware that you did a monologue. This is new information to
Well,
me.
I mean,
so I didn't know
just
that.
my response. You can call it
okay,
a monologue or
so
response.
here's the thing.
However you want to
All right, so,
define it.
Okay, but if you list 5 or 6 things, I'm going to forget. You're going to name a bunch.
I only listed one, and I was about to list the second one. And I won't list
All right, so if
6.
you don't want to have the conversation, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
No, it's all right.
I'll go through 3.
You're complaining,
Joe
so go
Biden.
ahead.
Joe Biden said that raising the minimum wage to $15 emphatically helps small businesses. That could not be further from the truth. He said that Obamacare did not cause anyone to lose their policy. There was 4 million Americans that lost their policy in 2013 alone. Joe Biden lied several times last night. And Kristen Welker, she didn't stop. I thought she did a very good job. I thought that she interrupted Donald Trump more than Joe Biden, and I thought that she didn't. And she made a point of doing that. But also, there was a couple of times where Trump was answering at the end of the debate, and his mic was just randomly muted. That took place. The thing about Donald Trump is he came across as presidential last night. He didn't attack Joe Biden at all.
Yes, he did.
Not what did he attack him about? I mean,
I don't want you to yell at me for interrupting
he didn't
you
call
again,
him. He
so
didn't
go
call him a
ahead.
clown. He didn't call him. I mean, he didn't attack him the way that Joe Biden attacked Donald Trump in the first debate. And Donald Trump, since day one, has been very consistent on his platform and on his issues. And Joe Biden, when you let Joe Biden talk, you said that he stood his ground, but he stood his ground, and he said some pretty crazy things when he was standing his ground, Brian. I mean, transitioning the United States out of oil into wind and solar when wind is wildly expensive and solar just isn't very effective is not a good idea. Bringing a $15 minimum wage nationwide, especially and then talking about locking down again and if you do open the doors of businesses, making sure that there's capacity restrictions in place, all those things just they're not gonna bode well with anyone who owns a small business or who is involved in restaurants or who is involved in the oil industry nationwide. And so I'm very shocked that Joe Biden, and you can say this was him speaking from the heart. I don't believe that it was. I'm shocked that he was stupid enough to actually, on a massive platform, on a national debate stage, say, well, when he needs Pennsylvania as bad as he needs Pennsylvania, that yes, I want to transition eventually out of the oil industry. I was blown away by that response, Brian, and I think that right there, he was already losing the election. In my personal opinion, I've said that multiple times. But he has no chance of winning the election now, Brian, in my personal opinion.
Can I interject now?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. First of all, your opinion doesn't reflect just about every single poll across the country. That's number one. Number two, I know you'd be surprised. See, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stand Donald Trump. I don't hide that on the air every single day. Not a big Joe Biden fan or supporter. I'm not. But I go on the air like I did for the vice presidential debate, and I said there was not really a clear-cut winner. Even the first debate, I said there was not a clear-cut winner because I come from a perspective of an independent that hates Donald Trump. Now, I could go on the air today and do what JD is doing and say the opposite and say Joe Biden just destroyed Donald Trump. And by the way, Donald Trump did lie, and I have.
Yeah, I did not say that. I did not say that.
You're interrupting me now.
Well, I didn't say that. You're misquoting me.
You're interrupting me.
I didn't say that Trump destroyed Biden. I said that Biden really hurt himself with some of his responses.
You got to let me talk now. You got angry when
Trump did not do that.
Okay, let me know when I can finish. Can I finish?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Please don't interrupt me.
Well, don't misquote me.
Okay, please don't interrupt me. I could go on the air right now and I could say Joe Biden destroyed Donald Trump and Trump said stupid things, which he did, by the way. Trump said lies, which he did, by the way, and I have proof to back that up. But I'm trying to come from a non-biased perspective. And as I said to start this show, there's going to be right-winger Donald Trump supporters that are incapable of criticizing him for anything, that are going to say that Donald Trump destroyed Joe Biden and Joe Biden has no chance to win the election. But again, you're interrupting me again. If I could please finish my thoughts now. I'm not taking that side of Joe Biden. I'm taking the realistic side and the logical side that Joe Biden is winning in most polls around the country. I know there's going to be people out there that are going to say, oh, Donald Trump's going to beat him in a landslide. I don't believe in polls. And then when a poll comes out that Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden, and by the way, there's very few and far between of those, then all of a sudden polls matter. But The bottom line here is Joe Biden just needed to stay afloat, not embarrass himself. And in my opinion, he didn't do that. And I don't think there was any clear-cut winner here, but I think if anybody needed to destroy somebody, it would have been Donald Trump, and I don't think he did that. But